What up, y'all? I'm here to talk about that playoff game last night. It was too painful to watch, and I'm kind of happy that me and Adrian weren't able to link up because I was so devastated from what I had just watched. I don't know if I would have been able to make a video. I mean, my stomach was in knots. I had lost my voice. It was rough. It was really rough watching that, guys. I mean, 101 to 98 loss. Crucial game three that we had to come in there and get the win, and now we're down 3-0. More than likely, the season's over. I mean, statistically, we're more than likely out of it. No team has done it in NBA history. They're 0 and 129. So game four tomorrow is basically it's pointless. If we can somehow extend it, we got to win four straight. We got to go back into Boston. I don't think it's possible. Just with the way Brett Brown is coaching, that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, there's a lot of youth on this team. I mean, we got to be proud of the Sixers of what they've done this far this season. You just get caught up in that winning, you expect a lot more and not lay an egg like we have the first three playoff games. I mean, the first two games we were three happy. We were 9 from 30 downtown last night, so another poor performance from shooting from downtown. Covington was extremely awful. Um, I don't know why Brett didn't try to change it up at all. He was getting beat all night, and this is the Covington we've grown to know and love sometimes. The Jekyll and Hyde. He has a great game and then he'll disappear for 3 or 4 games. Well, game two, he had a pretty good game, and you knew it was coming. He was 0 from 8 altogether. Big donut, 0 from 5 from downtown. All he did was shoot contested threes with 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Real quick, running down the court, quick trigger threes. Awful, not a high percentage shot at all, and it's just unbelievable. And we got what we wanted with Embiid working down on the block, which was great, but he was 10 from 26, so he wasn't effective. You got to give credit to the Celtics for playing great defense on him. Aaron Baines, Al Horford. I mean, Al Horford's what, 6'9", 6'10", so Embiid's got some height on him, and he was able to block Embiid 3 times. So, I mean, Embiid was missing bunnies down there. It's just we weren't able to make layups. We couldn't put putbacks in. And what stings the most is when we had the lead into overtime, Ben Simmons got the rebound, and without thinking, and this shows you the youth movement here, and I don't know if he was scared he didn't want to get fouled or what it was. He quick threw that shot up again, and if he would have held on to it, it was a fresh 24. We had possession of the ball. We could have ran the clock out, maybe went to the free throw line. He would have made maybe one, missed, whatever. We would have had the lead, and we more likely would have won that game. But it didn't happen. Boneheaded play. He threw it up real quick, and they were able to come down, get an easy transition bucket. And it sucks because it was such a grinded out game, too, that all these mistakes were made with like 30 seconds left in the game. I mean, thank God Bellinelli was able to hit that shot to go into overtime. Because if we would have lost that game the way we did with Redick throwing the ball away, I mean, if you think about it, what was Brown thinking about setting that play up where Redick is trying to inbound to Simmons? Like, come on. It's just a lot of questionable calls from Brett. I mean, you have a season like he did. He showed progression, and then you come in here and you just look like a novice coach. I mean, obviously, Brad Stevens, I'm sorry, is second best coach in the league under Popovich, in my opinion. He's got his 2 stars are out and what he's working with. Now, Tatum, definitely going to be a superstar. We've known that when he was coming out of the draft. He was the most pro-ready, and it is what it is. And, I'm kind of tired of hearing people say, oh, we should have had Tatum, he should have been on our team. Well, you can't really say that because you don't know what you're going to get out of Fultz. So let's leave that discussion for some other time. But a lot of just negative things that I could say about last night. It's just Ben Simmons was more aggressive, so I was happy to see that. But when they're giving you these wide open jumpers, Ben, I don't care if you're going to miss them. Just take the shots. I mean, we've seen you nail them in practice all off season. Last year, we saw you draining them. Why not just have the confidence to just pull the trigger? Do it. He had that one nice fadeaway jumper late in the fourth quarter, and it was a telltale sign it was going to be bad last night. One, because they blew the confetti too early, so that was a jinx. So kudos to who was ever doing that at the game for doing that for us. You screwed us over. But when Dunk had that wide open jam and he cocked it back and he hit the back of the backboard, and it was just like, you didn't need to do that. I get you wanted to drain your frustrations out on that jam, and that's what you should have wanted to do. But you should have just took the easy bucket, and you wanted to make it emphatic. I understand. You wanted to rub it in their face because this has been such a frustrating series for this team. We know they're better than that. They showed during the regular season, but this is the playoffs, so the regular season doesn't really matter. You got to leave all that behind you. You got to leave that 17-game winning streak behind you. You know, it's a clean slate by that point. Now, you played a team in Miami that played similar. You know, half-court set, going to play real devastating stick-down defense, but they don't have the offensive firepower that the Celtics do. They're as long and athletic as we are. They're young like we are, and they have a guy named Jason Tatum who's 19, who's going to be, you know, a prolific scorer in this league for the next 10 to 15 years. Miami didn't have that. You had an aging D Wade, so you didn't have to worry about them really put it hurting on you. And they also didn't have Brad Stevens, who I think is their best piece on that team. Danny Ainge signing him when he was at Butler, when he left Butler, was aces. Perfect. But I definitely aged last night. I woke up, my stomach was churning, like I said. I woke up with like 15 new gray hairs that were never there before. It's just, this series has been killing me. I think, I went into that game 30 and I came out 65. People were drinking brews, beers. I come in with the Gaffner right here. This has been my best friend for the longest time. Chugging this crap non-stop. Most people come in with flasks with some good liquor. I sneak in this stuff and just chug it constantly. It's just unbelievable what this team has put us through with this roller coaster. But I don't think everybody should jump off. Brett Brown has made stride this year. I don't think we can call for his head. Remember, this is his first time here as a head coach. He was an assistant under Popovich, so you'd figure he'd learn a little bit more. But he's a rookie coach in the playoffs in this sense. He's never been here before. And with the mistakes of the switching defense again, that's killed us all series. Covington on Al Horford there at the end was a head-scratcher. I don't know what they drew up, but we played right into their hands. And the same with the inbounds at the end of the night when we're inbounding to Embiid. Why is Ben Simmons inbounding the ball? You're talking about a guy that can make separation. He's got size, speed, power, he's agility. He should be the one running around trying to inbound the ball or to throw it up to him. Embiid, should have came back to the ball, but have somebody else inbound it. I thought that was a poor decision by Brett. And our role players were non-existent in this series. What got us to 52 wins this year was, Bellinelli, Ilyasova, guys like that, and they just didn't show up. Dario Saric, the homie, just really, really struggled. J.J. Redick, again, was taking contested threes. He was 3 of 8, but only chipped in the 18 points. And we really needed to get him going. But he's such a liability on defense. Having him out there, and the same with Bellinelli, they can really play only one side of the court. You want to have them out there for their offensive ability, but when it comes to the defense, you're screwed. And Horford, again, who I was worried about all series, was the X factor because he's going to take the ball and be able to get penetration and then kick it out for the open threes, which they got. They were killing us on the outside, and it's been our weakness all year. Turnovers and being able to defend the perimeter. And they got it to us. It was a play which draws Embiid out when you've got Horford being able to do that, brings him away from the rim, and then they can also run back screens and then get easy buckets because Embiid's not going to be able to protect the rim. It just killed us. It was just, Brett was playing checkers, and Brad Stevens is out there playing, chess. It was just apples to oranges, days to night with this guy. Every time Stevens called a timeout, they scored on an inbounds. Every time we did, we turned the ball over. Okay, so you figure your guys like Bellinelli, the Ilyasovas, they're not they're not playing well. You know, they're not playing good defensively. They're not scoring you buckets. So why not change it up, Brett? Why not have maybe a Justin Anderson to get in there to get a little bit more physical with a Tatum? Or with a Terry Rozier or whoever, you know, a big body guy, the bulldog mentality. TJ McConnell, I thought, was outstanding. He really stepped it up. Every minute he got, he was out there on the floor, making plays, getting steals. He was phenomenal. But when Covington was struggling so bad, why not take him out and mix it up with a Justin Anderson or, hello, even a Markelle Fultz? You don't know what this. You just stuck with your same 9-man rotation, and you became a predictable coach. They knew what you were going to do even before you did it. And that is what is helping this team even more so beat us and why they deserve to be up 3-0. I mean, you can't blame anybody but ourselves at this point. It has 100% been them wanting it more. You know, they got a chip on their shoulder. No, everybody wrote this team off. You know, including myself, because I said I wanted this team. Even though they did have Brad Stevens, you know, when you lose a Kyrie and a Hayward, you figure, what are they going to do? And how well the Sixers were playing, you know, you kind of wanted this matchup. But they came in here, give them kudos, give them credit. Playing great defense, distributing the ball, hitting their open shots. It's just unbelievable what this team has been able to accomplish by losing a Kyrie and a Gordon Hayward. You know, most teams would lay down and, you know, would give up, but this team has just been incredible. They fought for the balls a lot harder. They were diving on the floor. I mean, I saw TJ diving after some balls, but I see Simmons laying it out when he could have. He tried to pick that ball up and go in transition. You know, I've seen Celtics under there with 3 Sixers standing there, and the Celtics would get the rebound. 1 green jersey versus, you know, the 3 white, and they're still getting a rebound. They're fighting. They're giving it their all, and they just wanted it more. You know, and it's just stupid mistakes. Yeah, we're a young team, but turnovers, again, snake. It was a snake bite. It was a snake bitten just like all year, just with the careless turnovers. And it shows that, you know, we remember Boston has been in the playoffs, so they've been here, the Jaylen Browns and all. They've been to this point last year. And it's, for us being here the first time, you don't want to use it as an excuse, but I think it has something to say about it. But this should be used as a learning experience, as a building block for years to come. You take this, you fuel this for next year, and, you know, Boston shouldn't be getting too cocky because more than likely they're going to be playing LeBron. And look what he's doing. He's straight willing that team to the finals. I think Cleveland's going to be there. Should be a fun series, though. But you got to build this. And let me go back to Embiid being on the block, okay? That's what we wanted. Instead of getting our transition threes and running and gunning, we went to the half court, feed Embiid, what you want to do. But we only got to the line 18 times, which, you know, you want to get the line a lot more. Drive, kick, get to the line and get your points. Well, Embiid was missing those bunnies, like I said, 10 of 4, but it was just Embiid, and then everybody was standing around watching. You don't want to have that happen. You want to have constant movement all the time. And that's what makes, you know, San Antonio so successful, was a lot of ball movement, open threes in the half-court set. But this team has to learn what to do because they look completely lost in the half-court set. You know, if they're not running gun and getting those transition threes, they don't know what to do. They look completely lost, and you can't just stand around and watch Embiid go to work. He should have got better penetration because, you know, Aaron Baines was standing him up. He wasn't getting that deep into the paint where he had to do a lot of turnaround fadeaways and jumpers. So kudos for them really clogging the paint up. But you can't just stand around and expect one guy to do everything. It's a, you know, recipe for disaster. But it just sucks, guys. You know, you set such high hopes for this team. And to be down 3-0, in retrospect, we should be 2-1. Should be 2-1. We should have won game 2. We gave it away. Brett didn't call the necessary timeouts, but I'm hoping Brett uses this as a learning experience. Now you look at it tomorrow. Okay? What do you do? What do you do now? I would hope he changes it up and lets a Justin Anderson play, lets a Markelle Fultz get some time. Because there's been this huge debate, well, the number one pick versus Jason Tatum. Let this kid get some minutes. It's clear that you have absolutely no trust in Markelle Fultz whatsoever. I don't know if it's because of the whole situation that it was, he was beefing with the organization and they weren't on the same page. And then obviously he missed the 68 games, but he got some playing time with the last 2 weeks of the season and he looked decent. Well, now that you're down 3-0, there's no reason, rhyme or reason, he should not be in there and getting some minutes. What else do you have to lose? Get him some playoff experience, get him some time on the court, gelling and playing with these guys. We got to be looking towards next season now. And my one friend down at the game posed a question, well, the series is over, do you bench Simmons and Embiid? And I told him, no, you can't. Yeah, we're down 3-0, but crazier things have happened. Could we be the ones to rewrite history and come back and win 4 straight? Possibly, but it's more than likely not going to happen. But you got to play these guys, get as much playoff experience as possible, and just help this team grow. Grow as a team. If you look at Golden State, look how well. When they first started off, they were getting knocked out. It's the longer this team has with chemistry and continuity, the better they're going to be. And the Warriors are a team to really model yourself after, in my opinion. That's the way you want to be like. You want to be like them. Pass the ball, play good defense, and shoot a shit ton of threes. Because Brett falls in love with that. But we have to be able to adapt, make changes during a game. If the threes aren't falling, you got to be able to go to a half-court set, and we struggle with that. And that's something that Embiid and the rest of the team, including Brett Brown, have to train on heavily during this offseason. So what do you guys think? I'll start answering some questions. Why would you bench Embiid and Simmons? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he said that. Not sure why he mentioned that, but you got to play them. It would make no sense not to play them. So, are you guys as heartbroken as I was? You gotta be. Do y'all think we can come back from down 3-0, or are you saying our gooses are cooked? I'm thinking we're pretty much done. But Markelle Fultz, or even change the lineup. And Covington better not be starting. All right, that's one thing Brett better not be doing, because we have to find a guy that's going to be able this offseason. Or don't forget about the draft. So we got the Lakers pick. And the way it sits now, we'd be picking within the top 10. I don't know where it's going to fall because they still got to do the draft lottery and da-da-da. More than likely, we're going to get the Lakers pick. Why not make history? Hey, man, I love to be optimistic. I'm all about, half glass full rather than empty, but I don't know. I hope we can. But teams are 0-129. No, do you think LeBron is coming to Philly? I don't know, NJ Sports fan. He could. I don't know if he's watched the way we've been playing. We obviously need another superstar to add to this team. Trade for Kawhi and get PG-13. I would love to go after Paul George. I think he fits the system better here with a guy that's going to be able to play, be a really good wing defender and can work off the ball. I think he's the perfect fit for this team. We'll have to see what offers OKC give him. I know, out of his camp that he wants to go play for his hometown, which is the LA Lakers, or possibly he stays with OKC. But I can't see him staying with OKC. I feel like Brett's really costing us game 2 and 3. A lot of this blame has to go to Brett Brown, for sure. Absolutely, he's been outcoached. He's still got his training wheels on. But, you look at the draft forward, we can add a piece there, and in free agency we have money to spend. Man, all we have left is optimism at this point. Lay it all out there, and that's it. Play like your life depends on it and see what happens. Yeah, exactly. Mix it up. Do crazy stuff out there. Mix up the lineups. Like, why was Ben inbounding in the ball to draw? Yeah, I don't get that either. That didn't make any sense to me. That should be the last person inbounding the ball because of Ben's ability to get free, his agility, his size. They should have had maybe JoJo inbounding to Ben Simmons, but something we're going to have to live with. But you got to go after PG-13. And the Kawhi question, I wouldn't trade for Kawhi only because they'd probably ask for a lot to get him, obviously. I mean, the guy's a top 5 player in this league. You'd probably have to give him Fultz, possibly Dario, our first round pick, maybe two first round picks, because we can't really. I don't know if we can really leverage that Lakers pick because technically we don't know what's going to happen with it yet. So it's still involved in another trade, so you can't package those or use those. Um, so I would just wait another year because Kawhi's probably more than likely not going to resign with the San Antonio, and you can get him in 2019. So I wouldn't try to mortgage the future and get rid of our players that we have now to go get them. But Kawhi would make even more sense than Paul George because he's way better than Paul George. But this offseason, it's either got to be Paul George or LeBron that we go after. I don't want the digital print house. I don't want to end the process by going all in on Kawhi. Besides, no telling the 2-3 years. Yeah, exactly. Can't play for him. Couldn't believe the mistakes made. The poor game management. Yeah, that's, Ben Simmons should have had enough sense. But again, he's a young player, rookie. Hasn't been in this stage before. And Rocco lets everybody buy him. Yeah, and that's his staple, is being a lockdown defender. And we've seen it during the season. The Sixers coming back, the Cavs will 4-0 them. Yeah, it would be a struggle to beat LeBron. We wouldn't get past LeBron, I don't think. Not the way he's playing. But even if we did come back 4-0, right, it would be a real struggle with the way he's got that team cooking. He's playing out of his mind right now. He's so determined to get to the finals to face the Warriors. It's going to be Cavs-Warriors again. I don't see any other solution. It's going to be the same teams for the fourth straight year. But LeBron here, my concern is if you do have LeBron here, does that have a hindrance on Ben Simmons' growth? I just don't know how the two could play. Now, I know Adrian feels different. Now, if LeBron can just become a straight scorer, just become a shooter and not have the ball in his hands all the time, then it would work. And it would be great for Ben's development because that's who he trains with and that's who he aspires to be. Off-ball D is good, but on-the-ball defense, just flat terrible. Marcus Morris. Everybody was getting by Covington. That's what I mean. Like, Brett should have noticed that in the first half and taken him out and put somebody else in there. Like, that's the whole reason we got a Justin Anderson. To help our perimeter defense. I mean, he's a bit bulkier. He could have been a lot more rough. I mean, remember what he did in the Miami series with Dwayne Wade. He helped us out in that sense. We need two ball handlers on the floor. Yeah, that's why I would like that, Paul George would be great or a Kawhi. And LeBron might be able to make it work here. I can't see it. Because you figure Fultz is going to be starting next year, right? Or do you still think he'd come off the bench? I think he'd be starting at the 2 guard. But he needs the ball to be effective. That's why this whole offseason, him and Ben should be working out together wherever it's going to be and learn to play together. What do we do with J.J. Redick? If he wants to come back here, he's going to have to come with a huge discount. He's not going to be getting $23 million again. I'd give him like $4 million and maybe come off the bench. JJ's been great. You need a shooter like that, but we need a guy that can defend on the other end. He's such a liability. If he wants to come back here, he's going to have to take a huge discount and possibly come off the bench. Because I'd really like Markelle Fultz to be starting next season at the 2 guard. Sixers need to learn how to inbound. They need to learn a lot of things, Winger 912. Digital house print. They say they are brothers, meaning Fultz and Simmons, so I can see that. Yeah, those two got to link up together. Simmons take him under his wing and just train all off season. And they can teach each other how to shoot. But it's going to be a huge offseason for Brian Colangelo and the Sixers. Bellinelli and JJ are on one-dimensional, don't work against a team like the Celtics. Yeah, they are. You have them on, they're great on offense, but then it's a huge loss when they're back on the defensive end. They can't defend. I mean, Bellinelli last night when I was down at the game had his freaking hands on his knees. He looked exhausted. And, thank God he had enough legs to get that shot off, but I'm wishing his feet were just a little bit smaller, so that could have been a 3, and that confetti went off for a good reason instead of a poor one. Hopefully we get the first pick. Yeah, dude, I wish. I don't see that happening, though. That would be awesome. Who would we take then? Ayton? DeAndre Ayton? He's definitely going to be the top pick. That dude's a killer. And if we, since we more than likely will get the Lakers pick, I'd like to get a guy. You figure we need a backup center. Or maybe somebody can play with Embiid that can also protect the rim and a shooter. So where do we go from there? Drafting Mikal Bridges and signing LeBron. I don't know if Bridges will be there. Either one of the Bridges, I've seen the mocks, they have either one of the Bridges coming to the Sixers. I would love for the Nova kid to come here. I mean, he's got a fantastic wingspan. Huge. He's got like a 7'4" wingspan. You know, he can shoot, he can defend. They compared him to Kawhi. What do we pay Redick? Lobo Gamer. I am not paying Redick anything what we paid him this year. I mean, he got his money. He's made his money throughout his career. You want to come back and contribute to this team and do what you did this season? You know, you got to learn to play defense, but that's not going to happen. So I'd be giving him four or 5 million tops. 10 million at most. That's pretty husky. I don't know if I'd give him that. But with today's NBA standards, I think the $4 million range is out of the window. So maybe 10 million would be more realistic, which is crazy to think. But we've got to improve the bench. You look at it, I don't think Marco would be coming back. I would re-sign Ilyasova. I think he's a nice player to have. He does a lot more. Yeah, never mind, probably like 7. The 8 seconds left for that 2 should have never happened. Nope. No, it shouldn't have. Are you talking about when JJ lost the ball when he went to pass it to Simmons and it rolled off and they got that easy bucket towards the end of the 4th? That was just a disgrace. It was unbelievable. Or are you talking about when... If you think about it, even when we went into the into OT, if Simmons just would have held that ball. Just would have held that ball. And I don't know why Embiid's always roaming around three-point line or above the key. Yeah, he should have. I just think he freaked out and figured he didn't want to get fouled. I honestly think that's why he threw it up. Cub can't put up donuts. No, he can't. And he consistently does it. I mean, if your staple is going to be a lockdown defender, you better lock it down and not get your ankles broke every other play. Hey, what's up, Cowboys X Factor? I mean, it was a disgrace. The Sixers need to improve on a lot of things. Screw the people who hate the idea of LeBron in Philly. He has shown your jaw disappeared. I mean, I'm one of those guys that don't want LeBron in here, strictly because I don't know how well he would gel with this team, and a lot of people seem to think anywhere he goes, he can just gel with the team, but I think we've got good chemistry going here, and my fear is bringing in somebody like LeBron might screw that up. Why does Embiid take the hardest shots in the final minutes of the game? I don't understand it. Well, who else is going to take it? Simmons is too afraid to do it. Tough game, man. Marco Bellinelli is so close. I know. Cowboys X Factor. I really thought it was. When I saw that confetti go off, because it was at the other end, I sit at the other end of the basket, the Celtics side, and I thought it was a three-pointer. It got me too excited. Would you bring in Paul George Gaffner? 100%. 100%. I literally went through 2 bottles of the Gaff Nectar last night. Hopefully we'll put the 6th pick and get Michael Porter. Dude, no way Porter goes that low. I think Porter's going to go top 3. But Michael Porter Jr. here would be dope. He'd be the perfect scenario to have here. I mean, you figure Simmons, but Simmons that can shoot, actually. Would you take Jaylen Brown over Simmons? No. No way. Digital print house. Really? 3? What do you mean, the digital print house? What are you referring to? But the draft and this offseason is huge. I mean, Fultz is going to be back. Porter. Oh, yeah, I definitely think Porter's going top 3, for sure. Ayton's going number 1. It's just between Porter going number 2 or that Donich kid. But they both have injury history now, so it depends who's picking where. But Porter, if you figure he wouldn't have got hurt, he would have been fighting for that spot to go number 1. If it wasn't for Porter's injury, yeah, exactly. I agree, Philly. 024. If you can't shoot in a 3-year, he's not. Imagine if Simmons didn't miss that one dunk. Yeah. Bagley then to play for Embiid. Bagley's an interesting prospect. I don't think he'd fall to 10 either. I don't think we go any higher than 6. And let's hope not, because then, you know, you got to remember the protection on the pick. Let's not mess up this pick. Terrible picks. No more Okafers. Hey, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We've hit on most of our picks, though. Or Fultz, possibly. You can't judge Fultz. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Yeah, 6 is our highest we can get. Yeah, that's, yeah. Besides one, right, because of the protection. So, I'm hoping. But, you know, with the percentages, the way the new draft is, I'm curious to see where it falls. Do you blame the law? Most of the blame is on Brett Patel. Yeah, absolutely. We just got straight out coached. I mean, these kids are being molded by Brett. He's calling the plays. He's putting the players out there in the situation. The rotations sometimes just drive me insane. It just pisses me off. And again, when the bulk of your role players aren't producing, why not switch it up to give you a spark? You remember in game 2, when Boston was struggling, they were down 22, they put Greg Monroe in, who barely got any minutes in the first game at all. I mean, he was more of a selection when they were playing the Bucks, but you didn't see Greg Monroe. And then when they went down, their rotation wasn't doing so well. What did he do? He put, the Mooses on the loose in, and he generated a spark, and it got him back into the game. I don't know why Brett doesn't know this, dude. This is like common sense stuff. Brad Stevens is the #1 coach in the league right now. No, Winger 912. It's definitely Popovich. 100% Popovich is still the best coach. But he's second. No doubt about it. Hey, guys, I'm a Celtics fan. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Good for you, Eagles Nation. So you're an Eagles fan and a Celtics fan. Huh. That's what's up. But, again, even if the Celtics, when the Celtics do advance, they're not getting past LeBron, so it doesn't matter. It's all good. So making it to the Eastern Conference Finals if that's good enough for y'all, that's what's up. But they're not getting past LeBron. And the East isn't beating the West anyway, so it doesn't matter. The East isn't going to beat the West. Somewhat close, but they still were able to force him to throw up a lot of turnaround jumpers. The Philly dude was calling me a bandwagon. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Deep penetration, yeah, that's Adrian's stuff. Right now, the Pops overall, but Brad Stevens takes a special sweep of talented team. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Brad Stevens, this isn't his first go-around. He's been in the playoffs before. And what's also aiding the Celtics is they made that fantastic trade with the dumbass Nets. I mean, taking 2 aging stars and getting, 4 or 5 years of unprotected picks, and the Nets were awful. So they ended up being in the top 3 for 4 years. The Celtics were, going to Eastern Conference Finals and picking in the top 3. I mean, it's highway robbery. Embiid is so lazy sometimes on an inbound where Horford stole it. Yeah, I think a lot has to do with stamina, too. From my view, TJ should get some more minutes because he gives you guys a nice... TJ was phenomenal. Absolutely. He did everything to earn his minutes. He made plays. He was able to get steals. But you got to roll the dice with Ben Simmons. And to go back to the starting 5, I think it's going to be Simmons, Simmons, Fultz, hopefully Paul George, Embiid, and Dario. But we still need more bench help, obviously, and we got to get one of those superstars out there. Brett Brown will learn. He is just an experience. Exactly. It's a learning experience. We just got to build off of this. Covington, Patel, he's got to be a bench player. Or if they try to trade him, put him in a trade. But as of right now, I like Covington. He's just a Jekyll and Hyde. Some nights he's really hot, and then he'll go 4 or 5 games where he does this type of crap. Get LeBron. That would probably be the Sixers' top priority, is get the best player in the NBA. We'll have to see, though, because there's been reports that he's going to go to Houston and L.A. But, yeah, I think Paul George would be a better fit with Joel Embiid. Yeah, so do I. Paul George is, a versatile player. He's a lockdown defender. We got to get a guy that's a lockdown all-pro or an all-NBA defender. I'm sick of Rocco. I'm annoyed with whatever he's on the court. Overrated, to be honest. He earned his money in the beginning. He's just so streaky. He takes contested shots, stupid contested shots, with so early in the shot clock, which you should never do. And that's what drives me insane about Brett Brown and sometimes with his offense, is when we were up 22, you're still jacking up threes and then you don't call a timeout. When I was watching the Pelicans game earlier, they started to make a little run. They were up 20, the Warriors were. And what did Steve Kerr do after they scored 5 points? Timeout. And that's a veteran team. What does Brett Brown do? He lets him play through. Yeah, not very intelligent. LeBron is not going to LA because of the East. Yeah, I know, NJ Sports fan. That's what makes me think, why would he leave there? Like, the Lakers aren't as talented as some of the teams in the East. I don't think he would ever leave the East either because it's such an easy road for him and that's all he knows. Because his main goal is to get as many championships as possible to surpass Jordan so he can be considered the best. But in my opinion, even if he does surpass Jordan with championships, he still will never be better than Jordan. He's staying in Cleveland after last night's buzzer. That buzzer beater was ice cold, dude. Vicious. I felt bad for the Raptors. If LeBron gets his fourth, he's staying in Cleveland. He's on the top, no reason to take a chance. I don't. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does with Cleveland. Does he screw them over again and put them through this? Leaving, doing the whole South Beach thing on TV, and then coming back. It's like a love-hate relationship with his hometown. Does he do it to him again? Be interesting to see. Because they do have that Nets pick, so they'll be picking in the top 10 too. And LeBron's never really played with a rookie of that caliber in the top 10. Other than what's-his-face, but he was a scrub. I'm talking about an actual talented player. Man, only if we had the 4th seed instead. I don't think it would have mattered. If we played the Raptors, we don't play good against the Raptors. They're a very talented team. The reason they're down 3-0 is it's all up here with the Raptors right now. They're better than Cleveland. They should be able to beat them. They've been in it night in and night out with them. To be honest, I think Cleveland deserves it if they talk so much and think they're the nicest thing in life. But he's got ice water in his veins, LeBron. He's unbelievable. LeBron not staying. He hates Gilbert so much. Yeah, that whole situation between him and the owner, I don't know if he tries to edge him out. I know he wants to buy Cleveland at some point after his career is all said and done. LeBron is the Cleveland coach. Ty Lue is just a face. LeBron will re-sign or come here. Been reports, I mean, I think he still might consider to go to, I don't know if he comes here. I really don't. I mean, I know he likes the young nucleus we have here. I mean, we'll have to see. Bleeding Green Nation for life. What pick do the Sixers have in the draft? Right now, as it stands, we're 10th without us drawing the ping pong balls. But it's protected. You remember it's protected from 1 to 6. If it falls 2 to 5, it goes to Boston, and then they get the pick next year from the Kings. Paul and LeBron to LA. I don't know if that would be enough to put them over because, you still got Lonzo there. I always think LeBron should go with Popovich. Oh, man, you imagine with the Spurs? I just don't think, and that's why Kawhi is considering leaving, because I don't think San Antonio is a sexy enough destination to draw in big-time free agents. Can't see how LeBron goes to L.A. I mean, the whole thing with the L.A. rumors is, he has a home out there. He's really involved in movies. He's got his own business. So he eventually wants to have his own movie company and whatnot and be involved in movies. Yeah, Ty Lue's garbage. Every guy they've had there is trash. So I know LeBron at one point wants to edge out Dan Gilbert as the owner and purchase the Cleveland Cavaliers or some sports team in Cleveland. He will not go to the Rockets because of Golden State. Hey, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Kawhi to the Sixers? Hey, 2 years, man. I hope so. I'm not giving up all our youth to get Kawhi Leonard when he could possibly just leave the next year. Why not just wait till the year after and sign him in free agency? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I would do personally. But Kawhi would be the best overall fit here because he's an all-NBA defender. He's a top 5 player in this league. He can score off the ball. He's a great ISO scorer. Having Kawhi here is awesome. It's a bigger city. His uncle's from New York. He's from the West Coast, but his uncle lives over here in New York. That would be dope. Kawhi in Philly would be awesome. Dude, that would be vicious if we got Kawhi Leonard to go with these young cats. Ben Simmons would eat for days. I mean, that would really send his growth above and beyond if we were able to get him. But, all right, take a couple more questions because the Jazz game is about to start, and I got like 6% left on my battery. To get Leonard, you have to give Dario Fultz. Not doing that. Yeah, I agree, Philly. 0-2-4. And it would take more than that. It would take picks, too, to acquire Kawhi. I mean, they're, R.C. Buford out there, Popovich, they're no idiots. They know how to revamp. There's a reason they haven't picked in the top 10 all too often. When they did, they got Robinson, Tim Duncan, and they got a steal in Kawhi Leonard at 15. Sixers, Kane, LeBron, Leonard, but you would get a chip, though. What, Baller 1260 if we were able to sign LeBron? Ben Simmons' growth should be top priority. 100%, Winger 912. That should be... Well, that and teaching him how to shoot. That kid better hit the gym and and shoot, figure out how to shoot, take contested shots, because they're wide open right now. So there's no reason he shouldn't be shooting them. He's absolutely no confidence in himself, and it makes me wonder if he's soft or not, because he's looking soft. He's played scared, and he looks soft this series. No, if you give picks and young guys for Kawhi. I don't know if that would be enough to put us over, because you're supplementing two guys. We don't know what Fultz is going to be. And Dario's a huge piece to this team. If Sixers want a chip, get LeBron. If not, no chip. So, NJ Sports fan, you think if we get LeBron, we automatically win a chip? Even if we get LeBron, I don't think it's enough to beat the Warriors. Is it just me or I don't have confidence in Fultz? I mean, I got confidence in Fultz. Obviously, Brett Brown doesn't. That's evident. Shoot with the right hand just looks more natural. I'm not gonna lie. His shot looks pretty horrid. I don't know if you want to mess with the mechanics because some of his shots do go in, but when he's at the free throw line, his elbow's all bent up. LeBron and Embiid would not work out. Why is that, Baller 1260? Not the first year, but 2 years, yes. Ben can improve. We've seen it with the free throws. Yeah, he just needs to continue to work on it. It's just a confidence thing with him. I think a lot of his problems are mental. Fultz will be a star in 3 years. I honestly still have 100% faith in Fultz. I think he is going to be really good, but time will tell. Fight over touches. Yeah, that's going to be the other thing, and the egos. This is Embiid's team. Is LeBron going to be able to sit back? I would hope at this point in his career he'd be able to mature, but I don't know. Still makes me wonder. He's a little bit egotistical. LeBron and Embiid would take over Twitter. Hey, both their Twitter games are pretty ballin'. For show. Yeah, JoJo's the man. I mean, this is his team, 100%. LeBron comes in here. His fadeaway actually looks pretty good, though. His fadeaway looks better than his jumpers and his free throws, which is crazy. But Ben better hit the gym. Same with Fultz. You got to extend his range for Fultz on the threes like he was doing in college. But, I mean, his games be able to penetrate and get to the 10. Bruce Ferrero, Leonard. Yeah, dude, we got to get Leonard. Leonard would be a match made in heaven in here. But that's 2 years from now. And I'm not giving up the farm, so to speak, to go get him. So, right now we're looking at Paul George, LeBron James in free agency for the Sixers to acquire. LeBron can help Ben in the offseason. I mean, he trains with him. He's in his camp. He aspires to be like LeBron. And LeBron said he could be... LeBron's quote is, Ben Simmons could be even better than LeBron himself. He's just got to put in the work. And we know he's a gym... Ben Simmons is a gym rat. Will the Sixers come back and win the series? I would be baffled. For the first team to do this in NBA history, to come back from 3-0, I don't know what I'd do. I'd streak down Broad Street if that happened. That would be insane. I mean, history has shown it's only happened in North America sports 5 times. We need to get more athletic on the wing. Yeah, wings are is our weakest point, and I think that's why people feel like we should have went with Tatum, because he's been roasting and cooking us all series. But he was the most pro-ready guy. And I don't really think I think Danny Ainge is just talking out of his ass saying they wanted Tatum all along and blah, 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 that they pulled the wool over our eyes. We'll never know, because he could just be saying that. We have no idea. All right, guys, I'll take, 3 more questions because my phone's legit about to die. So if it just stops playing, that's what's happening. So 3 more questions. Anything else before I bounce out of here? I can't believe I went on for 45 minutes. Sorry for rambling. Bruce Ferrara, this series. It's been a rough series, Bruce. It really has. Alright, later, Winger912. You too. I'm feeling better because I've been chugging my crap. No problem, Mel, anytime. Yeah, I can't wait for this game. This will be a fun series. Always trust the process, NJ Sports fan. Always. Gotta trust it. It's been a great year. You know, it's been a rough series, but it's been a great, great year. Yeah, you too, Lobo Gamer. I got my my Gaff nectar ready. I only got 3 shots left in that baby. 3 shots left in my Pepto. Am I going live later? If you guys want me to, about the game? About what? About the Jazz game? Dario never gets foul call. No, that's another thing I want to touch on. Dario gets no love from the refs. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because he's European or what it is, but he gets clobbered, he gets elbowed, he gets punched, and he gets nothing. And then on the other side of the ball, when he's defending, he breathes on somebody and he gets a freaking foul call. And I've never seen Dario get, you know, they throw technicals on this guy like he's Rasheed Wallace out there. He's the most passive player that I've witnessed watching basketball for my entire life, and they throw tees on this kid. I think they have it out for Dario, to tell you the truth. Never seen anything like it. The home gets no love. Bonkers. All right, y'all, I'm going to catch this game. You have a good one. We are down 3-0. You know, the Sixers have nobody to blame but themselves. Brett Brown still has his training wheels on. It's been an absolute nightmare to watch, especially since how successful we were during the season and at the end of the year. But again, playoffs are a clean slate. So what you did in the regular season, it don't mean crap. So kudos to the Celtics. You deserve it. You've got a fantastic coach and a bright future with Jason Tatum. And I hate to say that, but trust the process, guys. Have faith in Markelle Fultz. We still got Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And remember, they're only 23 and 24 years old. Embiid's 24. Dario's 24. Fultz is 19. Simmons is 21. We'll be all right. We just got to add a wing defender that can actually defend and not get his ankles broken, because Covington couldn't cover a cold out there. And we need more, you know, firepower off the bench. Let's make history. I love the optimism, Philly 024. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace. KG on BB, I'm out. Later. Meant to say that. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace.